Hi guys, this time we'll be dealing with Git. Let's see what is actually Git and how it can help us while working on our projects and collaborating with other people. Initially, you need an account, let's say in GitHub. It's an online repository free space. Just go to github.com and log in yourself. Yeah, you can see here we have repositories and we can create a new one. But beforehand, let's set up our project inside of the terminal. We'll create one directory, Git project, and we'll enter inside. Let's initialize our project. We'll type git init. And we see that we have initialized empty Git repository. And it's hidden inside of this .git directory. So basically this will be a backup of our files. It will represent our files, and we don't need to enter into this directory. And if we type Git Status, we'll see that we don't have any files inside. So let's go ahead now in the Visual Studio Code and create one file. So first we'll open folder and we'll choose our Git project. Here inside we'll create one simple file, let's say start.js, and here we can write just one console log hello, and it will be version 1 of the file and the comments. Okay, we'll keep it very simple. This will be our file. We'll just save the file. We can also open the terminal from here. And now if we type git status, we can see that we have the following untracked files, start.js. So Git automatically discovered that we have one file now into our directory since the initialization of the project. Alright, so in Git there are several areas where we can place files. So first, this is our working directory. And then the files can go into the staging area. In the staging area, usually we accumulate several files. And after we are sure that we are ready to make a snapshot of all of our changes that we made, we create a commit. And with this commit, we are transferring the files from the staging area or the index to the local repository. In the commit, usually we see only the changes to the files. So not the whole files are transferred, just the changes. All these three areas are being kept on our computer. So when we are ready, we can create a push, and all those commits will be transferred, let's say, from the local repository to a remote repository. We can also initiate backwards motion. So from the remote repository, we can fetch some updated changes to our local repository and then transfer it to the staging area and the working directory. So far we are here still in the working directory. Let's open the terminal. When we type git status, we see that we are advised that this start.js, the new file that we're creating, we can add it to the staging, our index area. So visually, we are in the working directory and we are trying to add the files in the staging area. And we can just type git add and then the name of the file, which is start.js. And this will add the file into the staging area. When we type git status, we see that first the color of the file is changed to green, and we can transfer the file further. So the next step is to transfer the file from the staging area to the local repository. Again, we'll go to the terminal and we will just type git commit -m, and we will type our message. Let's say adding new file start.js, and this will place the file from the staging area to the local repository. So if we type git status, now we see that everything is clean. We don't have any other changes. Right now our files are here in the local repository. At this moment we can connect to a remote repository and push our local changes to a remote repository. So we see here that we are on the branch master, and we can type actually git branch -vv, and we see we're here on the branch master, and we have one commit, and this commit has a unique signature, and this is the message of the commit. Now we can connect to GitHub and push this file there. In our account, we'll create a new repository. Okay, the name will be Git project. It will be public, and we'll just click on create a repository. This is actually creating project space or repository inside of GitHub, and we see we have some instructions. As you can see, we already did git init. We made our first commit, and here we have git push origin master. This means that we can push the local information we have in our local repository. Here in the local repository, the push will transfer the information to remote repository. But before this, we have this line git remote at origin, and this is the address of the origin. So our project, once in Git, it has used a unique address. So this is the address, git project.git. And actually we are telling with this line that we would like to add this address, and it will be saved in our system as an origin, and it will be a remote tracking branch. So if we copy this line and we go into the command prompt and just paste the line, and again we'll see the branches. Okay, for now our branches are not shown. Actually, we can issue the following command, git remote show origin. So we can see that we can push information inside of this address and fetch information from this address. And this is our remote that we just set with this git remote at origin. So this is our origin, actually the virtual place where our GitHub account exists. And now, since our working tree is clean and we have created one commit, we can push this commit remotely. So we will just type git push, and we are advised to set where we are going to push the information, just because we can have multiple branches towards which we would like to push our information. For example, since we are on the branch master, you see here, we are advised with git push to push our master branch to the origin, or to this GitHub address we just saw previously. I'll just copy the information here and paste it. And we are required here initially to provide information. And since we pushed information, we are setting our master branch to track the remote branch, which is also called master from origin. So actually our local master branch will be connected with our origin or remote to its master branch. So if we type git branch -r, we see that this is first origin master is the remote tracking branch, and here our master branch is connected with it. So they are on the same position right now, and we have one commit inside. If we go to GitHub and go back to our Git project repository, we see that inside this is our local file that we just committed, and if we click, we can even see the information inside. This is the ID of our commit. So let's go back to our Visual Studio Code and create some changes to this file. Let's say console log hello version 2, and we'll save those changes inside of the terminal. Again, if we type git status, now we see that Git automatically detected that those changes are happening inside our file. We can again add this file into our staging area first, so the local file from the working directory into the staging area. We'll type git add start.js, and again git status. We see that we have it and it's prepared from the staging area to be committed. We can type git commit -m, and for the message of the commit will be, let's say, version 2 of start.js. Okay, right now we have it in our local repository, but it's not pushed to the remote repository. And we know that we are already connected. So our master branch is set up and it's up to date with the origin master, which is on the remote side, on the GitHub side. We can just type a git push, and this will automatically push the changes remotely. We see that our file is pushed inside of GitHub. The interesting thing to see is that when we go to our project and refresh, here we see a version 2 of the same file. If we click on the commits, we see that we have 2 commits. And so we have a project history, and this was the starting commit with this ID here of the commit, and this is the second version of the commit. And the second version, you can see here a little bit of history. We see what has been changed. So those 2 lines have been added and those 2 lines have been removed. So if someone else is working on the project, we can also see what kind of changes they are doing to your files. We can also check out between the different commits, which means that if we don't like the second version, we can go revert to the first version. Let's see how we can do this. As you know, right now the files are being kept here in the local repository. So here are the commits, and we're having 2 commits. Let's switch between them. First, we will list all the commits that we have. Okay, so we can type git log, and this will show us the 2 commits we have created. So these are their IDs. So this is version 2, and this is version 1 of the file. And we would like to restore from the current version, because we are pointing here right now, our head pointer, to the previous one. So we can just type git checkout, and we can type a few characters of commit that we would like to revert to. If we go to the Visual Studio Code, this is the version 2, and then when we paste here the name of the commit, okay, we've checked out this commit. We can go to Visual Studio Code, and we see that this is really version 1 of the code. And actually we can use this state in order to review certain things that we have made in our files or have been changed. We can copy them in a temporary place. If we go to the terminal, right now we see this text here that we are in the detached head state, which means that we can test our code, and we can make commits. The problem is that the garbage collector of Git will discard those commits just because we are not on a branch, so we are hanging up in the air. So we can solve this case either by this strategy to save the changes somewhere else, and then just to check out our master. So we will reverse the changes. So we can just type git checkout master. Now we aligned our head with the master. This means that the changes will be discarded. If you switch to Visual Studio Code, we see that we are back again to version 2, and here we can correct certain things. So this is one way of solving this case. Another way, if we are again on this detached head state, we can create a new branch and we can start working from this state. So we are reversing to version 1. We are making changes, but before this, we'll just here create a new branch with new changes. So we'll type git checkout -b, which will create automatically branch, and the name of the branch will be, let's say, new branch from version 1. And if we type git branch, we see that we are here on the new branch from version 1 with the git status. Everything is okay, the head is not detached. We can make changes. Here we're saving. If we type git status, we see that the file is modified, and we can add the file. With the dot we add all the modified files, and we can make a commit, for example, working from version 1 onwards, -m of course here for the message of the commit. And here if we type git push, this is interesting. You see now that we're on this branch, new branch from version 1, and we need to attach it to a remote branch. And since we don't have this branch, we are offered from git this command, which will log into Git and recreate the branch for us, and will put the changes and will synchronize the local and the remote branches. So let's do this. And we see the files are being pushed and the branch is synchronized, and it's setting to track the remote branch. If we switch to Git and go to our repository, on the branch, when we click, we see we have a new branch here, new branch from version 1. If we click on this new branch, we see this is where we are working right now. And this is another technique when you would like to start to work from a detached head state. Okay, the next thing we would like to explore is how someone who is interested in our public repository can clone it and actually have it on its computer and to start working with it. So we see one option, clone or download. We copy this address. When we go to the terminal, let's go to another directory. Make a directory developer2 and enter inside. Once we are in this directory, we can just type git clone and then this long address, and then we'll place a simple dot. This means that we would like to grab all the files containing in this address, in this project, and to pull them and to write them into our current directory. We see that we've received certain objects. Let's see what's inside of the directory. We have our file here, and we can start developing. So that's how you clone a project, and you can start developing inside. Okay, let's go to this file from Visual Studio Code. We'll open folder. Okay, this is our starting file right now, and let's say version 3, and we'll make changes. Let's pretend that we are another developer. Let's open the terminal actually and see what's up with our Git. So the local Git says that the file is modified. Again, we'll follow the procedure by adding the file and then commit with a message corrected version 2 of the previous developer. And the commit is done, and now we'll try to push it back to the remote repository. When we click on Git Push, we're asked for our username and our password, which will ensure that we have permissions to write to the repository, and this should push the project inside of the remote repository. Let's check. And in the master branch, we see that we have the recent corrected version. In this way, 2 developers can contribute to one project. Of course, this is very simplified, but it will get you started with Git. If you enjoyed the information, you can subscribe to the channel.